The door slams shut, hard enough that the glass pane rattles behind me. I'm still standing there, suitcase in hand, the California sun scorching the back of my neck when I hear the deadbolt twist. She locked it. My daughter just locked me out. Don't make a scene, Mom. Her voice slices through the heavy wooden door like a blade. It's over. Go find a motel or something. My chest tightens, breath caught halfway between disbelief and heartbreak. I blink twice, then look down at the suitcase she packed for me, hastily zipped, bulging at the sides. I didn't even get to pick what to bring. How did we get here? Let me back up. But not too far. I'm not in the mood to relive every wound. My name is Deborah Wells. I'm 53 years old, a former paralegal, single mother, and until last week, the only person keeping this house running. I raised my daughter, Heather, on my own after her father bailed when she was 4. I scrubbed toilets at night, reviewed contracts by day, and gave up dating entirely just to make sure she had ballet classes, braces, and enough to eat. And now she's kicking me out of the very house I bought, with my name still on the mortgage. Why? Because she just won the damn lottery. $10 million. That's what the news anchor said last night. Heather standing in the background of a gas station security cam, wide-eyed, clutching a ticket like it was the key to her new life. The numbers were correct, no doubt about it. The town is buzzing, but she didn't scream, she didn't hug me, she didn't cry, she just smirked. That was my first warning sign, not the money, the smirk. And now, here I am, kicked out like some scorned ex or estranged aunt. But Heather made a mistake, a fatal one. She never looked at the name on the back of that winning ticket. Not once. And I never told her. But I will. Soon. The street is quiet. Just the low hum of a distant lawnmower and the occasional whoosh of a car. I set the suitcase down, my hand trembling from more than just the weight. It's the betrayal. The sting of it. My own daughter. What changed her? She used to crawl into my bed at night during thunderstorms and tell me she'd never leave me. Even when I'm a grown-up, I'll buy you a big house and we'll have tea every day, she'd whisper, hugging my arm like a stuffed bear. Now she's sipping champagne on the patio with her new boyfriend, some greasy-haired, sculpted-jawed guy who just showed up 2 weeks ago and hasn't stopped leering since. Who is he, really? And why does Heather act like she's under some spell when she's around him? Questions. So many questions. But right now, only one matters. What will happen when she finds out the winning ticket isn't even legally hers? Because she thinks she bought it. I let her. She handed the clerk the bill, but the card was mine. The numbers were mine. The signature on the back, mine. She never flipped it over. She just assumed. Everyone always assumes I'm weak. Quiet, plain, easy to ignore. But people forget, mothers like me, the quiet ones, we're the ones who survive the storms. We know how to wait, to endure, to strike when it counts. Heather may be celebrating in there, giggling in her robe, letting that sleazy man rub her feet while she babbles about yachts and Malibu and making me someone else's problem. But this story isn't over. It's just beginning. And the part she never considered? I'm not just hurt. I'm angry. And I've got nothing left to lose. The breeze picks up, blowing Heather's sheer bedroom curtain just enough for me to see them. Her robe is barely clinging to her shoulders. One long leg draped over his lap, his hands slowly massaging her thigh as she laughs and presses a kiss to his neck. It's obscene. She never used to be like this. When did my daughter become a woman who trades decency for decadence? What did he whisper in her ear that made her so hungry for power, for status, that she'd toss her own mother to the curb? Did she plan this with him? Was this her plan the moment the ticket hit the news? Another car drives by, the driver slowing just long enough to watch me stand helpless with my suitcase. Do I look pathetic? Probably. But that's the bait. Let them underestimate me. Let them believe I'm just some pitiful mother who got tossed aside after raising a monster. Let them all watch what happens next. Because while Heather and her lover are inside, blind with lust and greed, there's a safe in the garage that holds something neither of them know exists. A second copy of the ticket receipt. Photographed, time-stamped, legally notarized. And the real kicker? The trust fund I've been quietly funneling into since Heather was 10, it matured 2 weeks ago. She has no clue it exists. Because I stopped trusting her the day she lied about that Vegas trip at 17 and came home with a snake tattoo and a fake smile. That tattoo, The same one her boyfriend has on his wrist now. Coincidence? I doubt it. So the better question is, how long have they known each other? And what's their real plan? I turn away from the locked door. My fingers curl around the suitcase handle. No tears fall. I'm done crying. Because if Heather thinks she's going to bask in luxury, parading around in silk while I rot in a motel somewhere, then she's about to learn the most expensive lesson of her life. You don't steal from someone who taught you everything you know. You don't burn the bridge you're still walking on. And you never, ever forget to read the name on the back of the ticket. I don't go far. Not yet. I check into a cheap motor inn off Highway 5. The kind where the walls are thin, the sheets smell faintly of bleach and desperation, and the front desk clerk barely glances up when I hand over my ID. It's the kind of place people go to disappear or self-destruct. But I'm not disappearing. Not yet. The room is a box of stale air and buzzing fluorescent lights. I sit at the edge of the bed, place the suitcase on the floor, and pull out a manila folder from the side pocket. Inside is everything. The lottery ticket scan, the photocopy of my ID, and the time-stamped CCTV footage from the gas station, downloaded that very night. I didn't need to do any of this. But after raising Heather for 25 years, I've learned to prepare for the worst. Because she often was the worst. It didn't used to be like that. Heather was once the sun of my life. Bright, curious, tender. She used to paint my nails when she was 5, using glitter and too much polish. She'd hum while brushing my hair and whisper, "You're the prettiest mommy in the world." We'd dance in the kitchen, barefoot on linoleum to Aretha Franklin on the old CD player. But around 16, something shifted. Something subtle but sharp. It started with lies. Little ones at first. "I'm at Emily's house," she'd say when she was really sneaking out with that older guy on the motorcycle. Then came the manipulation, the tears she could summon like a faucet, the sudden mood swings, the screaming. By the time she was 19, I'd caught her faking college applications and pocketing the tuition money. When I confronted her, she didn't cry or apologize. She just stared at me, dead-eyed, and said, "You were too easy to fool." That was the first time I felt scared of my own child. But I didn't kick her out. I should have. I should have let her rot. Instead, I paid off her credit cards. I helped her open a fake consulting business so she could look responsible on social media. I even let her manipulate some lonely neighbor into co-signing her a car. Why? Because I thought love would bring her back. Now, I know better. The motel TV flickers with some late-night drama, but I'm not watching. My mind's still on the man in her bedroom. Snake tattoo on his wrist, his hand between her thighs. That little whisper I caught through the window. Once she's gone, it's all ours. Gone. Not just out. Gone. Did he mean it? Would Heather go that far? Another question I never thought I'd have to ask about my daughter. But when I think back, there was something off the moment she brought him home. She introduced him like he was royalty, giggling and clinging to his arm. "This is Zane," she said. "He's like a lifestyle investor." Whatever the hell that means. He was maybe 30, tattooed, muscled, charming in the dangerous way. He looked at me like I was a stain on the carpet. When I shook his hand, his grip lingered just long enough to make me uncomfortable. Then later that night, I caught him in the kitchen, shirtless, drinking my wine. He didn't apologize, just winked. "Didn't peg you for a Merlot kind of woman," he said, his eyes sliding down my body like he was calculating something. "But hey, I like a woman who's still got some fire." I remember standing there, stunned. I should have slapped him, but instead I just walked away. Another mistake. The next morning, Heather told me to chill out and accused me of trying to flirt with her boyfriend. Her exact words? "Stop being jealous, Mom. You'll never have a man like Zane. You're too old." Too old. That word stuck with me like gum under a shoe, and now she's locked me out. After years of loyalty, love, and sacrifice, all because she thinks that little slip of paper she found in my purse makes her a queen. But here's the twist. She didn't find the ticket. I gave it to her. Let her hold it. Let her show it off. Let her run straight into the illusion. Because I needed to know what kind of woman she really was. And now I know. And now I have what I need. The copy I made, the real evidence, remains sealed in my lawyer's safe. Not just a copy of the ticket, but an affidavit stating that the numbers were selected using my account at the lottery app, purchased on my phone, using my linked debit card. Signed, stamped, irrefutable. So while Heather is laying in that plush bed with Zane feeding her strawberries and promises, she's building a fantasy on a foundation of lies. A fantasy I plan to tear down brick by brick. But not yet. First, I want to see how far they'll go. Because sometimes the best way to punish someone is to let them dream a little longer. Let them plan the Malibu mansion. Let them browse yachts. Let them imagine the world bowing at their feet. Then pull the rug so hard they shatter. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. We need to talk. It's about Zane. No name, just that. My heart skips. Who? Another girl? A warning? A setup? It's always the same with men like him. They leave wreckage, sometimes physical, sometimes worse. Was Heather his first victim? Or just the latest? And is it possible, even remotely, that he's using her to get to me? The questions keep stacking. I stare at the screen. My thumb hovers over the reply button. Do I text back, or do I wait and watch? Because one thing's certain, this game we're in, it's just getting started, and I'm done playing nice. The text still haunts my screen when I wake up the next morning, even though I barely slept. The motel mattress creaks beneath me as I sit up, heart pounding, questions piling. We need to talk. It's about Zane. Still no follow-up. No calls, no second message. I tap the number. It's out of area, Texas. But Zane told Heather he was from Arizona. Maybe he forgot what he told me when he poured himself that second glass of my Merlot. I don't reply. Not yet. Instead, I throw on a hoodie and jeans, tie my hair back, and drive toward the strip mall where Heather and I used to grocery shop. It's where I first met Zane, just 3 days after Heather brought him home. I'd stopped by to grab milk, and there he was, arms crossed outside the vape shop, talking to a woman in tight jeans and cheap heels. Her lips were painted blood red. Her arms were covered in ink, and she was definitely not Heather. I didn't think much of it then. Now, I'm not so sure. I park at the same spot, heart racing, wondering if I'll find her again. But it's empty. Same cracked pavement, same broken neon sign flickering over the vape store entrance, but no sign of the mystery woman. So I do what I should have done weeks ago. I hire someone. His name is Andre, private investigator, ex-cop. Found him through a lawyer friend from my paralegal days. We meet at a diner halfway between the motel and my old neighborhood. He wears aviators and has the calm, quiet air of a man who's seen too much and stopped being surprised by any of it. I slide him a photo of Zane. Snapped on my phone through the curtain, Zane shirtless, one hand on Heather's bare thigh, the other holding a glass of champagne. Andre smirks. Charming guy. He's got a tattoo, I add. Snake wrapped around a dagger on the inside of his wrist. He nods slowly. You want dirt? Background check? Surveillance? All of it, I say. And fast. Something doesn't sit right. He taps the photo. Let me guess, you think he's scamming her. I meet his eyes. I think he's been planning this for longer than she realizes, maybe even before she bought the ticket. Andre leans back in his seat. You think he knew about the lottery? I think he made her want to win, or made her think she did. And then I ask the question that's been keeping me awake for days. What if she was manipulated into believing the ticket was hers, so she'd cut me out, and he could swoop in for the prize? Andre raises his brow, then whistles softly. You think they planned it together? I shake my head. No, I think she's just dumb enough to think she's the one in control. He nods again, then says, Give me 48 hours. 2 days later, I get a text. Not from the stranger this time. From Andre. Need to meet. Found something. I'm already pulling into the diner parking lot when my phone buzzes again. Also, you're not the first mom. I freeze. Inside, Andre slides a folder across the table. Inside are 3 photos. Same man, same smile, same snake tattoo, 3 different women, different cities, different stories, same ending. Each of them came into sudden money. Each of them dumped their parents or went no contact. Each of them ended up broke 6 months later. I flip to the last page. A police report from San Diego. Assault, fraud, theft, charges dropped, woman refused to testify. You think he's conning her? Andre says. I look up and the words just spill out. No, I think he's seducing her, controlling her, turning her into a weapon. Because that's what it felt like the night she kicked me out. Her voice wasn't her voice. Her eyes weren't hers. She sounded like she was reciting someone else's lines, and now I know whose. Zane. He didn't just insert himself into her life. He rewrote it. The next question becomes the biggest one yet. Is Heather a victim or a willing accomplice? That night, I drive past the house. The blinds are closed, but I can see flickers of light, candle glow, soft yellow. Music floats faintly through the air. Jazz, something sultry. I park across the street and watch. And then, through the side window, I see it. Heather, wearing nothing but a silk robe, legs draped over Zane's lap again, her head thrown back in laughter as he feeds her another chocolate-covered strawberry. She's not drugged. She's not crying. She looks... My stomach turns. I lean against the steering wheel, bile rising. Was I wrong? Is she really that cold? And then I see her mouth something. Something I can't hear, but I can read her lips well enough. Once the lawyer signs it, she's done. I don't care. And Zane laughs. He leans in and kisses her neck. And suddenly, I realize what they've been planning. Heather's going to file a false claim, a forged statement, something that says I signed over the ticket, something I never did. They're not just trying to enjoy the money. They're trying to erase me completely. And I can't let that happen. Because if she files that claim and he backs her up, I could lose everything. My name, my legal right, my last shred of power. The question now isn't just when to act. It's how far I'm willing to go. And as I sit there in the dark, engine humming, watching my only daughter kiss a man who's done this before, I realize the answer. All the way. Because if they want war, they just chose the wrong woman. The walls in this motel aren't just thin, they're paper. I can hear the man next door snoring through the plaster, a couple arguing in Spanish in the hallway, but none of it is as loud as the voice echoing in my head. Once the lawyer signs it, she's done. I don't care. Heather's voice. My daughter's voice. She wasn't tricked. She wasn't coerced. She was leading it. Every ounce of hope I clung to, that maybe she was being used, maybe she was blinded by lust, maybe she'd been manipulated, it all snapped the moment I read her lips. She wanted me gone, erased, forgotten. Like I was some nuisance that stained her new life of cashmere and caviar. But she forgot something. I raised her, and I still remember the lie in her voice when she wanted something. Just like I remember every trick she pulled as a teenager. The way she forged report cards. How she flirted with the pastor's son, then screamed he touched me when he refused to take her to prom. How she blamed me for everything, the curfew, the rejection, the empty bank account, until I was nothing but a shadow crawling around our own kitchen. She learned how to manipulate because I let her. I kept thinking she'd grow out of it. But now I see it clearly. She didn't grow out of it. She grew into it. And Zane, he's not the mastermind. He's just the perfect weapon for someone like her. That night, I can't sleep. I lie awake staring at the stained ceiling, my chest heavy, my legs twitching like they want to run. And around 3:17 a.m., I hear it. Thump, moan, whimper. Not from the motel, from memory. My house, my daughter. The walls of her room were thin, and the night Zane stayed over got louder. It wasn't just sex, though God, that was loud enough. It was what they said between the sex. I could choke her and she wouldn't even wake up. Your mom's pathetic. If I had a mother like that, I'd smother her with a pillow. I remember sitting on the other side of that wall, frozen, staring at the beige wallpaper like it might tear itself off and scream. They wanted me dead, and not in some poetic, emotional way. They were fantasizing about it. Lustful, violent little fantasies wrapped in pillow talk. I used to think it was just dirty talk gone too far, but now I know it was rehearsal. And suddenly I realize what's really at stake. It's not just the ticket, it's my life. They want it all, clean, tidy, permanent. Heather always had a flair for drama, but now she has Zane, and $10 million, and a plan. What's one more tragedy? A mother found drowned in the bathtub of a motel. A mother with a history of depression who got kicked out of her daughter's house. A mother who had nothing left to live for. It would look tragic on the outside, and to them, perfect. Except I'm not dying for their fantasy. I'm tearing it apart. The next day, I make the call. To my lawyer, Janine. She's one of the few people I trust. We worked together in the DA's office years ago, before I quit to raise Heather full-time. She's sharp, hard, and allergic to bullshit. I need you to prep a press release, I tell her. There's silence. Deb, she says slowly, press release for what? I'm the rightful owner of the winning ticket. I have time-stamped evidence, purchase records, and video. I want to go public. You want to go nuclear, she corrects. Yes, she sighs. Are you sure you want this on the record? You know, once this is out, there's no hiding. Your daughter, she's trying to forge my signature and have me declared incompetent. Dead silence. I hear her inhale sharply. Jesus. She's not just greedy, Janine. She's dangerous. And the boyfriend? He's done this before, at least 3 times. Andre found the files. I'll send you copies. A beat of silence. Then, okay, I'll put it together. But I'm not done. I want to take it further, I say. Janine laughs, dry and low. What do you mean, further? I let the silence hang. Then I say, do you still know that reporter from Channel 6, Susan May? Another pause. You want a camera crew. I want America to see this. Because if I disappear or suddenly end up suicidal in a motel bathtub, there'll be a record, a motive, a face. Let Heather spin that. By sunset, Janine's lined up the paperwork, the notarized statement, the legal claim of ownership, and the media interview. Scheduled for Saturday, 2 days before Heather's fancy charity gala where she plans to announce her new foundation, Women Without Limits. I nearly choke when I hear the name. She's going to build a brand off my corpse. That night, I drive past the house again. This time, I don't park across the street. I walk up the driveway like I still belong there, because I do. And for once, Heather answers the door herself. She looks different, barefoot, makeup-free, and angry. What the hell are you doing here? She hisses. You can't just... I want to talk, I say calmly. One last time. Zane appears behind her, shirtless again, rubbing his eyes like he just woke up from a dream he didn't deserve. I glance down at his wrist. The snake tattoo twists when he scratches his chest. Cute ink, I mutter. His eyes narrow. You've got 5 seconds. I'm not here to beg, I say. I just thought you should know. I filed a legal claim for the ticket. The press is getting the story in 2 days. You might want to polish your lies before the cameras roll. Heather pales. Zane doesn't flinch, but I see it in his eyes. The twitch, the calculation. I told you, I say softly. You never even looked at the name on the ticket. Heather's voice cracks. You're bluffing. Am I? I hand her a copy of the notarized document. She snatches it with shaking hands. You can still fix this, I add. Come clean. Cut ties with him or go down with him. Your choice. She stares at the paper, lips trembling. You wouldn't. You already did. And I walk away, leaving the door wide open behind me. Let her scream. Let her panic. Because the truth is now ticking, and I'm done waiting. I don't hear from Heather the next day. Not a text, not a call, not even one of those rage-filled voicemails she used to leave in her early 20s when I ruined her life by grounding her for showing up drunk at school. This silence is different. This one feels calculated, but she forgets. I know what she sounds like when she's cornered. And Heather is absolutely deliciously cornered. Saturday morning arrives. I sit in the dressing room of the Channel 6 studio, staring into the mirror as the makeup artist powders the hollows beneath my eyes. She chats casually about the weather, but I barely hear her. My reflection doesn't look like me. The soft curls, the flawless skin, the peach lipstick. It looks like someone with power. And for the first time in years, I feel it. You ready, Miss Wells? The producer asks. I nod. We go live at 9 a.m. The segment is called The Ticket Truth, One Woman's Fight for Justice. Dramatic? Sure. But the truth? Even juicier. I lay it all out, carefully, calmly, with documents, footage, and the receipt for the ticket bought on my phone. The news anchor asks all the right questions, and I answer with practiced poise. I don't cry, I don't beg, I don't even say Heather's name. But the footage speaks for itself. My hand, my signature, my numbers, and my daughter. Nowhere in sight. We go off air at 9:26. My phone explodes by 9:30. Texts, voicemails, Twitter mentions, strangers calling me brave, others calling me a bitter mom trying to steal her daughter's future. I don't care. The truth is out. Now I wait for the second phase of the plan. The gala. Heather's Women Without Limits event is tonight at a luxury hotel ballroom downtown. Red carpet, champagne tower, influencers, photographers, all of it, paid with the money she thinks she owns. And I'll be there, not as a guest, as the storm. At 7:42 p.m., I arrive in a black silk dress I haven't worn in over a decade. It clings to me like it remembers how I used to have curves worth flaunting. I add a strand of pearls and a blood-red lip. When I enter the lobby, people turn. Some recognize me from the interview. Some from the tabloids already spinning headlines like heiress or fraud, and family feud over fortune turns public. A young woman holding a tablet approaches. "I'm sorry, ma'am. This is a private." "Tell Miss Heather Wells her mother is here," I say sweetly. That word, mother, slices like a scalpel. Within seconds, Zane appears. He's in a tux, all fake charm and forced smile. But his eyes, cold as a rattlesnake. "We've asked you to leave," he says through gritted teeth. "You've embarrassed yourself enough." "Oh, I haven't even started," I reply, reaching into my clutch. He grabs my wrist, not roughly, but firm enough that people notice. Cameras flash. Click, click, click. Gotcha. I lean in, whispering against his ear, "You might want to loosen your grip before I scream." He releases me instantly. Then Heather appears. She's radiant in gold, like a lioness dressed in money. But her eyes are wild, scanning the crowd, the cameras, the silent mouths whispering behind manicured hands. She's not in control anymore. "Why are you here?" she hisses. "I'm here to return something," I say, pulling the original ticket from my clutch. Her eyes go wide. "You wouldn't." "I would," I snap, and then louder, so everyone hears. "This is the original winning lottery ticket, purchased by me, signed by me, my name is on the back, and I have never, not once, transferred ownership to anyone." Silence. One perfect moment of stunned silence. And then the murmurs begin. Cameras turn. Photographers rush closer. Zane steps in, his voice sharp. "This woman is mentally unstable. She's been stalking my fiancé. She forged those documents." I laugh. Loudly. "Fiancé?" I raise an eyebrow. "How many women have you proposed to, Zane? Let's start with San Diego." He flinches. Heather looks between us, confused. "You didn't tell her?" I tilt my head. "The woman who dropped charges after you drained her inheritance and broke her jaw? Or the other one? The one who found out about the offshore account and suddenly had a car accident?" Zane's mask cracks. Heather's lips tremble. "Zane, is she lying?" He says nothing. So I say it for him. He's been using you, just like he used them. You're not the first rich daughter he's seduced, but you are the dumbest. Her slap lands hard. My cheek stings, but I don't flinch. Instead, I smile, because the cameras caught it all. And as the security guards start pushing through the crowd, I lift the ticket high and shout, "This is the real winner, ladies and gentlemen. And the lawsuit has already been filed. If I disappear tonight, you'll know why." The room erupts. I walk out before they can throw me out, head high, ticket in hand, rage in my blood like gasoline. Heather screams behind me. Zane follows, but not fast enough. Outside, a black SUV is waiting. Andre is behind the wheel. I slide into the back seat. "Well?" he asks. I show him the ticket. "Let's burn it down," I say. By morning, Heather's face is everywhere. The tabloids call her a fraud, a spoiled brat, a manipulative liar. The headline on the morning show reads, "Heiress Meltdown, Lottery Drama Erupts at $10 million Gala." One magazine even zoomed in on the slap, frame by frame, like it was some red carpet scandal. Zane's nowhere to be found. I'm guessing he's already on a plane or holed up in some cheap motel with a burner phone and a bottle of whiskey. That's his pattern, according to Andre's report. When the lies catch up, he runs. Heather, though, she's not built to run. She's built to implode. And that's exactly what I'm counting on. By 10 a.m., her lawyer calls mine. They want a quiet resolution. Janine puts it on speaker. "She's willing to walk away from the ticket," the lawyer says, voice tight, "on the condition that your client doesn't pursue criminal charges." Janine glances at me. I shake my head. "No deal," I say, loud and clear. "She forged documents. She tried to claim ownership. And her boyfriend, if you can even call that sociopath a boyfriend, laid hands on me in public. You think I'm walking away?" "I think a public trial could damage everyone involved," the lawyer says. "Then maybe your client should have thought of that before she declared her mother legally dead while I was still breathing." Click. Call ends. Good. Let her sweat. By the afternoon, the fallout begins in earnest. The Women Without Limits Foundation suspends all activities. Major donors pull out. Heather's social media accounts go dark. One influencer unfollows her live on TikTok while ranting about how we should never blindly support rich girls with tragic backstories. But the best part? The IRS calls. Turns out Heather deposited a chunk of the lottery winnings into a private account before the ownership dispute was legally settled. That's tax fraud, baby. And the IRS does not play. She's being audited, investigated, And worst of all, for someone like her, ignored. No one's taking her calls anymore. And then the knock comes. It's Tuesday morning, the same day my claim is scheduled to be certified. I open the door. Heather stands there, alone. No makeup, no jewelry, just a hoodie 2 sizes too big and dark circles under her eyes that remind me of when she used to cry after nightmares as a child. For a second, I almost forget. Almost. Then she speaks. I want to talk. I step aside, but I don't smile. She walks into my rented apartment, small, sparse, quiet. She scans it like it offends her. This is where you're living? Temporarily, I reply, until the court signs over what's mine. She flinches. Mom, I didn't. Don't, I snap. Don't come in here playing innocent. You were about to file papers declaring me mentally unfit. You were planning to freeze my accounts. You were going to put me in a home. Her lip trembles. Zane said. Zane, I cut her off, is a con artist who saw your desperation and turned it into a paycheck. Tears fill her eyes. Real ones? Maybe. Did you love him? I ask. Even after everything? She nods slowly. I thought he loved me. I thought we were a team. A bitter laugh escapes me. You're not the first to fall for a predator, Heather, but most don't kick their mother to the curb while doing it. She looks at the floor. Her voice is barely above a whisper. I was angry. I always felt like you judged me, like I could never live up to what you wanted. I wanted you not to lie, not to cheat, not to become this. I know, she says. I know now. Silence. And then she reaches into her pocket and pulls out the ring, a gaudy, oversized diamond, Zane's. I pawned the watch, she says. Used the money to pay off the decorator. Everyone else pulled out after the story broke. She places it on the table. I stare at it. What is this, gilt jewelry? No, she says. It's me saying I have nothing left. I burned everything, and I don't expect forgiveness, but maybe I could start over. I study her face, the lines, the fragility. For a moment, I see the little girl again, glitter nail polish, peanut butter on her cheek, but then I remember the ticket, the door slamming, the silence while I stood on the curb. No, I say gently. You don't get to start over here. Her eyes go wide. What? You'll get a second chance, but not with me. I'll make sure you have a place to stay and food in your fridge and that the IRS doesn't chew you alive. But that's not for you. It's because I refuse to let Zane be the one who raised you. I'm still your mother, but I'm done being your punching bag. Her breath catches. Tears fall. She doesn't argue. She just nods. I walk her to the door. She hesitates, then leans in like she might hug me. I don't move. She walks out, and I lock the door behind her. 1 hour later, I get the call. The judge has certified the claim. I'm now the legal owner of the $10 million jackpot. All mine. No contest. I hang up and pour myself a glass of wine. Cheap, sharp, bitter, just how I like it. Because this is the taste of survival and vengeance. The check clears on a Thursday. It's deposited directly into a trust managed by Janine, structured to minimize taxes, shield from lawsuits, and most importantly, keep my name on every dollar. $10 million. After taxes, fees, and the circus of litigation, 8.7 in the account. More than enough. More than I ever imagined I'd hold in a single lifetime. And yet, it doesn't feel like winning. It feels like breaking even with God. Because no amount of money rewrites what happened. No check unslams the door. No wire transfer erases the look on my daughter's face when she realized I wouldn't forgive her. But some things are better remembered. So I spend. But I don't spend for pleasure. I spend with precision. The first thing I buy is a house. Not flashy. Mid-century, tucked into the hills above Santa Barbara. Ocean view. Gated. Quiet. Security system wired to every inch of the property. Motion sensors. Smart cameras. Code access. Call it paranoia. I call it memory. The second thing I buy is silence. A private settlement for Heather, enough to get her back on her feet, but nowhere near the lifestyle she'd tasted with Zane. The terms are strict. No press, no public statements, no social media. She signed it. Without a fight. Whether it was guilt or exhaustion, I don't know. But I watched her hand shake as she signed. Janine said she looked like someone who'd been starving for months and just got offered stale bread. That's what betrayal eats like, I told her. I haven't spoken to Heather since. I hear through mutuals that she moved to Austin, started working part-time at a pet grooming salon, rents a studio apartment, drives a secondhand Civic. Normal. Plain. Maybe even. I wonder sometimes, did she learn? Did something break inside her that night at the gala, watching her kingdom fall apart one headline at a time? I hope so. But it's not my job to fix her anymore. My job now is me. So I keep going. I make my final purchase 2 months later, a nonprofit. Named it True Roots Foundation. Its mission? To support single mothers who've been financially abused by their children or spouses. Ironic, maybe. But I meet women who recognize my story in pieces. Bank accounts drained behind their backs, credit destroyed in their name, kicked out of homes they paid for. I listen. I cry with them. I build something from the ashes of what Heather burned. One evening, I step into my office late, just as the sun dips below the Pacific. The light is golden, spilling across the hardwood floor. And that's when I see the letter. No name on the envelope, just my address, typed. Inside, a photo. Zane, arrested in New Orleans. Fraud, conspiracy, attempted identity theft. Underneath is a sticky note. 3 words, you were right. No signature, but I know that handwriting. Heather's. I hold the photo in my hands and exhale. No smile, no tears, just peace. Because she saw the monster without me having to drag her to the edge again. She found her own truth. And in a strange way, maybe that's the victory. Not the money, not the headlines, not even the moment I shattered them both in that ballroom. The real win was that I got to walk away with my name, my dignity, and my story intact. People always say revenge is sweet, but it's not. It's heavy. It's bitter. It tastes like truth boiled down and served cold. But damn, it satisfies.